I know it's hard, I know it's complicated, but I promised you I've been waiting here forever. I had a much to say, but you're not here with me. No, we're invincible, like fire in the snow. Trust me when I say you are my beautiful world, and I'm feeling it all. We should make an effort. It's true you're so far away, and it's true you don't feel the same. But if you take my hand, we can try and go back. Starting from scratch, I won't let you go. No, I can't let you go, 'cause you're my gravity, and I will never leave. I won't let you go. No, baby, I will not, because I still believe. You're my gravity. You will never be what I expected. Different frequencies, that's why we ain't connected. You know I will make it through. I got nothing to lose but you. It's true you're so far away, and it's true I can feel the same. It's another day, you know you want me to stay, but I go my way. I won't let you go. No, I can't let you go, 'cause you're my gravity, and I will never leave. I won't let you go. No, baby, I will not, because I still believe. You're my gravity. You're my gravity. You're calling out my name, but the echo numbs your pain. Sorry, but more than just a shadow, I'm more than just a man. You don't care how I feel, you don't know how I feel. No, you don't know how. I wash away the sorrow till my heart can beat again. You're my gravity. No, you're my gravity. I will let you go. The only thing that I know, you were my gravity, but now I had to leave. I will let you go. Why do you think that I want? Why do you think that I want? I know how to breathe into my gravity. 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 I know it's hard, I know it's complicated, but I promised you I've been waiting here forever. I had a much to say, but you're not here with me. No, we're invincible, like fire in the snow. Trust me when I say you are my beautiful world, and I'm feeling it all. We should make an effort. It's true you're so far away, and it's true you don't feel the same. But if you take my hand, we can try and go back. Starting from scratch, I won't let you go. No, I can't let you go, 'cause you're my gravity, and I will never leave. I won't let you go. No, baby, I will not.
Warning. The Duracell Cup Series data file you have attempted to access is out of date. Uploading current file now.
It's a brand new car from stem to stern, and it's never been raced at these speeds.
The next gen car is opportunity.
Everything is different with the exception of like the seat, the steering wheel, and your helmet.
Unknown creates excitement.
Talking about my generation.
Good afternoon, race fans, and welcome here to Bristol Motor Speedway, as it will be playing host here tomorrow afternoon to the 25th race of Season 8 of the NNSCRA Duracell Next Gen Cup Series. Just the Cup drivers here this week. We'll see the Lights drivers back in next week's doubleheader, the doubleheader regular season finale at Auto Club Speedway, when we determine who the playoff contenders will be on both sides. And this racetrack here tonight is getting ready to basically set the table, if you will, as to who is going to be in the hunt for one of those 16 playoff positions, 10 through points, 6 through wild card spots in the Cup Series chase for the championship. We got to get qualifying done here first, and we kick things off with our expedited 5 minutes in knockout qualifying. 6 drivers will be fighting for 2 spots, and already looks like one driver very quickly heading out onto the racetrack there. Looks like that might be the 13 of Nathan Fogler. Coming off last week where we saw a 3-time winner in Matt Haas solidify himself a spot in this season's championship. He, along with Carson Gum, James Qualls, have been to victory lane 3 times or more. We've got a couple of drivers as well that are 2-time winners. One that's all but locked in James Qualls, but the other one, Connor Breton, we'll talk more about him in the second round of qualifying. Nathan Fogler, since the Lights drivers are off this week, hopping behind the wheel of a Cup car, looking to make his second start of his Duracell Next Gen Cup Series career. Saw him make his debut back at Donkey Kong Jungle Raceway. This racetrack, Bristol Dirt, has been on the Duracell Next Gen Cup Series schedule ever since Season 2. Bristol has always been on the schedule, but it was the paved version back in Season 1. And we'll touch base on this a little bit more during the second round of qualifying upcoming here, but only 2 drivers in this week's field, at least for the charter drivers, are former winners here at this racetrack, despite the fact that we've been here at this venue for, well, including this weekend's race, 7 straight seasons. Fogler currently top of the board, the only one that's really been able to set an up-to-speed lap, 19.559. Right now the lap to beat, Trey Wright in the 82 car this week, the all-star car out of Blue Oval Automotive. Trey Wright has a couple of dirt track wins in Next Gen Cup Series competition, and looking to qualify this 82 car into the field for the second straight week, as Jose Mills piloted this car 1 week ago at Hanford. Trey Wright is looking to make his second start on the season, his only start so far this year. Started 21st and finished 36th. Right now he is 3rd on the board, though, as his lap time has been beaten, as has Nathan Fogler's, by this driver, Hiccup Bush, who is looking to make his second start on the season. Started 11th, finished 10th in his debut back at Kentucky. And right now he's got a 19.3 19.383 that has him top of the board. As soon as I say that, that's been bested. As Trey Wright went to the board, 19.372. Bryce Egan looking to make his 13th start on the season. Right now it's 4th fastest, 19.930. And Autumn Brooks is yet to put down an official lap time here. Only a little under 2 minutes left, as her first lap is going to be a 19.932. That is about 0.6, a little less than 0.6 off the fastest lap so far. Kyle Langland just put his first lap down as well, a 19.977. As Autumn improves to a 19.583, but that only puts her to 4th fastest. Hiccup Bush right now on the bubble spot. Trey Wright the fastest. There is Kyle Langland, 4th quickest now at a 19.521. Lap time that they're aiming for is a 19.383, currently held by Hiccup Bush. Nathan Fogler almost beat that the previous lap. He's at a 396. That's about 13/100ths off of the second fastest lap time. Brooks just improved to 4th, 496. Gonna have to get in the 3s though. As Bryce Egan right now the slowest of the 6 at a 5.58. Closing in on 30 seconds remaining. Egan, no improvement. Let's watch the 13 of Nathan Fogler here. Well, he just got dropped to 4th, so somebody jumped him. Question is, did they jump into the top 2? No improvement there. Yeah, Hiccup Bush just got dropped to 3rd place. Autumn Brooks went to top of the board. 19.325. That is 0.05 faster than Trey Wright. Moves Trey Wright to the bubble spot. Hiccup Bush is now the first car on the outside looking in. He's on pit road with zeros on the clock. I don't think he's going to have enough time to get out there. Question is, does anybody have enough time to leapfrog the 82 as the red flag is displayed? And Brooks just improved. She improved and is now in the 1s, 19.183. So that completely takes away anybody toppling her for the fastest lap here in knockout qualifying. And I believe Trey Wright is going to hang on by 9/1000ths to the second fastest lap time here. So Brooks and Wright will qualify their way into the field this weekend. Hiccup Bush will be just short, as session is official. Look at that. 19.372 to a 19.383. That is, well, actually, I think I said that was 9,000ths. That's actually 1100ths. The difference between Trey Wright and Hiccup Bush. Nathan Fogler also was able to get into the 3s, but he was at 2,400ths off. Kyle Langland and Bryce Egan weren't able to break out of the 19.5s, though granted, I think for both of them, they were some of the last ones to go out there on the racetrack, so they didn't really let their tires have enough time to get up to temperature. And Autumn Brooks, I think, was also one of the last ones out there, but man, they had that car pretty well figured out, and she was able to clock in with a dominant 19.183 second lap time to be the fastest here and move on to the next round along with Trey Wright. So for Autumn Brooks, she will make her 16th start of the season. For Trey Wright, he'll be making his 2nd. After this quick commercial break, we'll have all 42 cars on the world's dirtiest half mile to find out who's going to start from the pole position here this weekend from Bristol. Don't go anywhere. Round 2 of qualifying comes up right after this. Thank you for tuning in to today's broadcast on NNSCRA TV. If you enjoyed your watching, it would help us out a lot if you'd hit that like button. Also, if you're not already, be sure to subscribe to become a part of the NNSCRA crew today. And if you're on your phone, be sure to click that bell to be notified whenever we have a broadcast here on NNSCRA TV. Once again, we thank you for your support, and we hope you continue to enjoy today's broadcast. Welcome back to the Bristol Motor Speedway as we get ourselves set now here for the second round of qualifying to determine who is going to be starting this race from the pole position. Going to be a total of 10 minutes for these drivers to go out there. And I feel like, more than likely, you're going to want to be one of the first ones out there because this is only a half mile in length. We're going to have 42 drivers out there. It's going to be very congested, and it's going to be very unlikely that once we have everybody out on the racetrack that you're going to be able to lay down that optimal lap time to put you to the top of the board. So we'll see who rolls the dice here in going out early, who rolls the dice in going out late, maybe seeing if draft will come into play. I don't think draft came into play at all into that 19.1 that Autumn Brooks put down there in the first round of qualifying. So we will see. We will see if somebody is able to turn a pole lap here in the final 5 minutes. I feel like our pole sitter may be determined in the first 5 minutes of this session, as Jesse Turner in the 47 looks like he's going to be the one to kind of set the benchmark here in that U.S. Air Force Mustang. Jesse Turner finishing top 5 last week at the Hanford Speedway. Of course, one of the beneficiaries of that caution in the closing stages of the race was one of 5 drivers that was able to battle for the win. Everybody else, 6th on back, were up at the front battling for positions on the tail end of the lead lap, if you will. And because of that top 5 run for Jesse Turner, he moved up 5 spots in the standings. He's now 19th in points, and if he's able to close out this weekend or next weekend at Auto Club with a victory, could snipe a last-minute wildcard spot. For those that are wondering, can he point his way into the top 10? That is still mathematically possible as well. He is 32 points out of the 10th position. So back-to-back top 5s here to close out the season at Bristol and Auto Club. Never say never. There is a mathematical probability that he could still point his way up into the postseason. There's a driver that locked himself up a confirmed spot in the playoffs last week, his first non-super speedway victory at Hanford. Matt Haas, now a 3-time winner, of course, won the season opener at Daytona, followed up with a win at Dragonette, and then last week picked up his 3rd win of the season. Matt Haas went into that race in the first wildcard spot. He is still in the first wildcard spot as he is now 11th in points, but he could easily point his way up into the top 10, and I guarantee you there are a lot of one-time winners that are hoping this week he will do just that. Get those 3 wins up above the 10th in the standings cut line. Don't have them eligible for a wild card position. A couple of drivers coming into this race weekend that have formally won here at Bristol Dirt. Only 2 of them in total. And having some trouble finding either one of them right now. There's one of them, Nick Gunther. Saw Gunther in the fight for the victory last week. He was another of those 5 drivers that benefited from the timing of that caution at Hanford. Brought it home inside of the top 5. Moved up to 7th in points as a result of that as well. And has 31 points back to that 10th in the standings cut line. So Nick Gunther in good position right now to at least point his way into the playoffs. And then the other former winner at this racetrack may not actually be out there right now. He may be on pit road. We'll see if we can find him here. Was that him? I think I just saw him on pit lane, actually. Now, we'll try and find him in a little bit here. Carson Gum is another former winner here at this racetrack. Couple of drivers keep an eye on here down this home stretch. See if we can find the 21 of Matt McIntyre. It's hard to see through all the dust cloud here, and that's going to be something we'll talk about here tomorrow afternoon as well, is visibility. But Matt McIntyre last week, another driver with a great run. He's been solid the last couple of weeks, and he's now 12th in points. He is only 15 points out of the cut line. Remember, this is a driver that was up in the top 10 for the first half of the regular season. About a month ago, he was down around 25th, 26th in points, and now in a matter of 3 weeks, he's now worked his way back up into the 12th position in overall standings, and he's got a shot of pointing his way into the postseason. Michael Norman Motorsports cars have all looked really good here the last couple of weeks. Of course, Michael getting the win back at Watkins Glen a couple of weeks ago. Nathan Ormond has been slowly climbing his way up out of the top 30 in the standings. He's 25th in points coming into this one. One driver that we are going to be highlighting a lot here this week, and we highlighted him last week as well, was Connor Breton. Two-time winner on the season, his last victory back at Hillside Raceway. The problem for Connor coming into this weekend is he is in the 30th position in points. He's got 2 victories on the season, but those victories won't matter if by the regular season he is not 30th or higher in points. And he comes into this race currently only 6 positions ahead, or 6 points ahead of Casey Hoyt, and only 14 points ahead of Anthony McCrory, who had a great run last week. So for Connor Breton, who's 15th on the board right now, he needs a good run here tomorrow afternoon to stay above that cut line. Right now, he would still be in the second wild card spot despite being 30th in points because of his 2 victories. There is the other former Bristol winner, Carson Gumm. 4th in overall standings, 3-time winner on the season, right now 25th on the board. Who's the fastest right now at Bristol Dirt? Well, it's the 26 of Daniel Voiles, and we talked about last week the situation for both Voiles and Ormond, and the fact that Eric Sadler had fallen out of the top 10, and Michael Norman had gone to victory lane. We're trying to find the 26 here, see where he's at. He may be on pit road as well. A lot of drivers diving onto pit lane for adjustments here with over 3 minutes to go. If we can't find him, we'll just focus on another car here so I can get to the point I was going to make about the wild card spots. Yeah, I can't find him. We'll focus right now on Jack Mitchell in the 0-1, who comes into this race 8th in points. But for Daniel Voiles and Nathan Ormond, because of Sadler falling out of the top 10 and Michael Norman winning, it dropped both those drivers out of wild card spots. And right now, they are still both not in wild card positions. As a matter of fact, as things are currently scored, Matt Haas has the number 1 wild card position. Connor Breton still has the 2nd. Then Eric Sadler, Michael Norman, Reggie Fogelman. Correction. Daniel Voiles is a wild card spot. He's in the final wild card spot right now, as he picked up 5 spots and stands last week to 22nd. RJ Bishop and Nathan Ormond are right now the 2 drivers that are outside of the wild card conversation. Look at this wad of race cars right now. We'll see this tomorrow afternoon, 3 wide. They can hold them 3 wide here at Bristol Dirt. And they could do it for multiple laps. That's Daniel Bouchard stuck in the middle, trying to shoot the gap there on Laura Chung. Jesse Turner, who was one of the first cars out there in the early going. How is that translated for him in terms of lap time? He's 21st on the board right now. Currently, it's Fords 1, 2, 3 for the top 3 positions. Voiles, Trey Wright, and Zachary Fitzwater. So a couple of Blue Oval Automotive cars with some good lap times here as we're looking at Fitzwater. Fitzy 21st in points coming into this race. Right now he's not in the must-win category. Could have 2 good finishes here at Auto Club and still mathematically can point his way up into the top 10, but a win would certainly get him into the forefront of the wildcard conversation. James Qualls, Levi McIntyre right now are 4th and 5th. There is Qualls, 3 wide with his teammate Joshua Osborne and Nick Gunther in the middle of that. Fastest lap time, 19.054 for Voiles, 19.063, just about, that is actually 9 thousandths slower there for Trey Wright. There's Daniel Voiles. Finally can find the Coke Zero Ford Mustang out of World NOS Racing. 30 seconds on the clock, and I think it's very unlikely anybody is going to be able to beat that lap time. I think your lap times, at least for the top 10, they're pretty much set in stone. Michael Norman 6th, Matt Haas 1 week removed from his victory in 7th. Dylan Young, Nathan Ormond, and Connor Breton right now the top 10. Breton needs a good run here tomorrow afternoon. Good track position if he can hold where he's at. Slowest driver on the racetrack, and this one's a surprise to me, is RJ Bishop. Out of all the drivers here in the field, the one that I would have thought would have the most experience on dirt would be RJ. Last week struggled at Hanford and dropped out of a wild card spot, and now will be starting shotgun on the field tomorrow afternoon. A couple of other drivers that are pretty far down there on the board. Mentioned about Matt McIntyre, what a great run he's been on as of late. He's currently 38th fastest. Alexander Rowe, who comes into this one 5th in overall points, will be starting deep in the field in 39th. Eric Sadler, the skid that he's been on since Watkins Glen. He dropped another couple spots in stands last week to 13th, still in a wild card spot as session is complete. But Eric Sadler, we'll see here in a minute. He's starting outside of the top 30. As Daniel Voiles, he will start on the pole position. Trey Wright will make up an all-Ford front row. The blue oval is going to sweep the top 3 spots and claim 4 of the top 5 fastest speeds, with Fitzwater in 3rd, James Qualls, the highest Chevrolet, in 4th, and Levi McIntyre, who the last couple of weeks has not only lost the points lead, but dropped to 3rd in points to Qualls. 30 points out of the top position in that battle for the regular season championship. He'll qualify 5th. Connor Breton actually improved from 10th to 6th in those final couple of minutes. Michael Norman will be 7th, highest Toyota. 3-time winner Matt Haas. Then Dylan Young and Nathan Orman. So that is, if I'm not mistaken, 7 Fords inside of the top 10. The Blue Oval's good qualifying speed here this weekend. Look a little further down here in the qualifying results, and I don't really know. It's 150 laps here tomorrow, so I don't know how super important track position is going to be, but I certainly would think that you'd want to start as far up to the front as possible. We talked about Sadler, Matt McIntyre, Alexander Rowe, all starting there towards the rear. Autumn Brooks had some great speed in the first round of qualifying, clocking in at a 19.1, but 19.4 here for her. She'll be back in the 37th spot. Carson Gum back here in 29th. Reggie Fogelman, who's in currently the 5th wildcard spot, 31st. So there's some big names starting pretty deep there in the field, including our points leader Ryan Brommer, who's trying to close out those extra 15 bonus points for regular season champion. He's going to start back in the 25th position. And the 2 drivers are trying to run him down, Qualls and McIntyre, Levi McIntyre that is, they're both starting up inside of the top 5. So we'll see how this plays out. It's the only race we've got here this weekend for the Cup Series drivers, and that'll be tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hope you guys will join us for that. Thank you all for tuning in to this qualifying session here from Bristol Dirt. If you enjoyed it, be sure to give a like, subscribe, part of the crew today. We have shown you your starting lineup for tomorrow afternoon. Daniel Voiles looking for his 2nd win on the season as he will start from the pole position. Until tomorrow afternoon's main event race here from Bristol Dirt, I've been Seth Cole, and you've been watching another broadcast courtesy of NNSCRA TV, offline racing at its best.
The following has been a presentation of NNSCRA TV for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the consent of the NNSCRA is prohibited. NNSCRA would like to thank all of our loyal fans, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.